especially because he says this tower is for the sweatiest of the sweats, which should cost a metric ton worth of hardcore credit. Yo, what's up guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about some of the towers that need some major rework, either because they're bad or they're just completely dead. So this Google document is actually by Coiny, who's a member in TDS Discord. So we're going to go over some of the towers and see if I agree or disagree, and if I disagree I'm going to share my own opinion. So let me know what you guys think as well in the comment section below. So these are all the towers that we have so far. It says green is buff / nerf, red is level mixing involved, blue has info on other tower reworks, orange removal considered, maybe too different from what was originally intended by developers. Okay, let's go with the orange first because there's only one orange in the list, and this is Electroshocker. Let's scroll down for a bit and find... am I blind? I'm actually blind. Electroshocker. What? Wait. No, Electroshocker doesn't exist here. I thought I was blind for a bit. Let me control F this. Oh, okay. So apparently Electroshocker is like right underneath Demo Man. Anyway. Electroshocker overview. Electroshocker feels a lot less powerful than it used to, especially with its limit of 2. Its main focus is its ability to stun and chain, but even then both are underwhelming. How to fix it? We can turn Electroshocker into powerhouse, high damage, longer stuns, make his charge up extra long like most electronics, and it'll need time to charge up before it can fire. Okay, so before I get started with my opinion of what he said, here's Electroshocker. It costs 3,000 credits, so it's not too expensive because Minigunner is 5,000, Outlaw is 8,500, 8,500. So it's not too expensive. It's like medium priced. If we take a look at his DPS, wait, what? 2? What happened to his DP? What?
Bruh.
Bro, what? Did his DPS literally? What the f? Wait, I thought he had a higher DPS. Like, I thought he had like 20 DPS or something. Or like 30 plus. Okay, so his DPS went like non-existent. Like 2 DPS is basically nothing. Especially when it costs 11,000, it's a support tower. So fixing, we can turn... So his suggestion for fixing is we can turn Electroshocker into powerhouse, high damage, longer stuns, but make it charge up extra long. So we can see for the max level, damage is 125, rate of fire is 5, so that's going to be 25 DPS. At first, you might say that 125 damage is OP, but its rate of fire is 5, meaning it shoots once every 5 seconds. So it's like a snail, like literally a turtle, right? So it's not, it only has 25 DPS. DPS is what matters, not really damage. Damage could be 1,000, but if it shoots once every minute, it's gonna suck. So 25 DPS, chain is 16. It's able to chain 16 targets. Shock time is 1 second. I think I agree with his suggestion just because right now DPS is not existent. It costs 3,000, but like Electroshocker is only useful for hidden wave. You can't really use this boy right here for anything else other than hidden wave. So it's kind of circumstantial. And even for hidden wave, it's like barely usable. It's only used as like a chaining support tower. But his review is kind of funny because like he says longer stuns, but like shock time is 1, whereas the shock time is actually 2 if you look at the stats table. So maybe he made a mistake, but shock time could be a little longer, I guess. But yeah, I agree with most of his suggestion regarding Electroshocker. I don't think it should be removed though. I just think it should be buffed a little bit. And the next tower we're gonna take a look at is Mortar because it's the only blue highlighted tower. Blue means has info on other tower reworks. So we go down and we see an extremely powerful tower. Its damage is only matched by Outlaws, which only gains penetration at level 3. It easily overshadows the towers like it, being Rocketer and Demoman. Originally, the section would include reworks for all 3 towers without getting to their stats, but I feel it is needed to do so. How to fix it? The 3 towers will all have their own main focus, hopefully letting them receive the same amount of spotlight for different reasons. The reworks for all of these towers will make sure they're all powerful in their own unique way. Mortar, lots of range with big explosions, less damage, best blast radius. Okay. Rocketer, high damage with the focused explosion, most damage. Demo Man, spread damage with big explosions, more explosions. Okay, so because we're focused on one tower, Mortar, lots of range with big explosions. Less damage, best blast radius. Okay, I see it. This makes sense because Mortar is a cliff tower, and if you play something on the cliff, it shoots up, right? And basically the trajectory of the rocket, or I mean, whatever the rocketer, I mean Mortar fires, is going to be like that, and the higher it goes, the more impact it'll be able to make. So the blast radius should be the biggest in theory, if you wanted Mortar to be like realistic, compared to like rocketer, which just shoots almost like straight. The radius is going to be smaller in comparison to Mortar. Alright, so we're going to take a look at DPS. Damage is 175, rate of fire is 4. That's going to be 46 DPS roughly, almost 46 DPS right now. If we take a look at Mortar, unlock cost is level 75 or 750 Robux or Robux. If we take a look at the DPS is currently 20, so he wants to make it a little more than double. And then explosion range is 28. Right now, if you take a look at the stats table, it's 25, so it's a little bit higher. Range is 45. Right now, the range is 30, so he wants to make it 50% bigger. I agree with his explosion range and DPS, but I feel like range is way too big. Like 45 range is like the biggest, I think. Let me check Outlaw. Yeah, Outlaw's range is 40. I don't know if Mortar should have an even bigger range than Outlaw, but 45 seems a little too big, right? So I would change this to maybe 40, anywhere between 35 and 40. 45 seems a little too much. But yeah, I definitely do agree with Mortar needing more DPS and bigger blast radius because it makes sense. And then we're gonna take a look at Commando. Commando overview was likely meant to be a middle late game tower, but has since fallen into the quality of an early game tower with the cost of a late game one. Furthermore, despite being a futuristic tower, it does not have the ability to detect it and how to fix it. Fix is a lot simpler than some other towers like Demo Man or Paintballer. It simply just needs a few stat buffs. Okay, so level 0 gets hidden detection, so it's default like Outlaw. I mean, kind of like how Outlaw used to be. If we take a look at max, we see damage is 35, fire rate is 0.5, so that's 70 DPS. Burst is 4, damage is 15. Reload 5 seconds. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what he means by this. Does he mean like 15 times 4? Each rocket doing 15 damage? So if that were, I think that's the case. 15 times 4 is 60, 60 divided by 5, that's going to be 12 DPS for the rockets. So in total, it's going to be 82 DPS for Commando, along with hidden detection. I don't agree with this. Why? Because Commando was earned by a super easy event, Area 51, right? I don't think that... Sure, Commando used to be really OP. It had a stupid OP DPS of like 130, including the rockets. And hidden detection wasn't needed for the Commando for the most part, because you could literally abuse Commando with Crook Boss, and Crook Boss had hidden detection. If you were to add hidden detection, it would actually be, it could potentially be a meta tower because it does rocket damage, which does splash damage, right? Splash damage is able to attack multiple targets at once. So along with hidden detection, it's gonna make Commando really strong again. But again, remember, Commando was earned by Area 51, which is super easy. If an event is like incredibly easy, I don't feel that the reward tower should be OP. Like, it's been OP long enough. Right now, Commando is more or less trash, like it's forgotten. People don't talk about it, but I just don't think that Commando really needs hidden detection, DPS buff for the single target, and DPS buff for the rockets. He's even suggesting a rocket buff. Like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Commando is supposed to be a bad tower because the event was super easy. So I personally don't agree with it, but let me know what you guys think. My personal change would be maybe increase the DPS by a little bit, but even that isn't really gonna do anything because like no one will really use Commando anyway. So I just feel like Commando is in a good spot where it's dead, where it's completely dead, just because like it's really hard to, not really hard per se, but like it doesn't make sense to buff a tower that should be bad to begin with, right? Because again, the event was incredibly easy. I think I complained about Commando being bad, but I don't think I've ever said that Commando needs to be like super strong like it used to be, right? Because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, that was it for Commando. Now we're gonna take a look at Accelerator. Alright, currently Accelerator can do about 400 DPS, making it the highest DPS output in the game, given it does have bursts, though rather short, and a small range, but even with this, no tower should have 400 DPS. Oh, he didn't change anything about Accelerator. The thing is, 400 DPS isn't really 400, it's more like 200 plus, but still, like, yeah, 200 plus DPS is a little too much, but like, you have to grind 2500 gems. 2500 gems takes a long time to grind for. But I think it still takes less time compared to golden crates. So maybe Accelerator does need to be nerfed a little bit and golden crates buffed or something. But I don't know, Accelerator is kind of hard to change because like people already grinded like so much time for a 2500 gem tower, you know? And I also feel like Accelerator is one of the biggest reasons Hidden Wave is possible right now. So if you were to nerf Accelerator by a lot, I don't know, a lot of things would be impossible, but at the same time, like, you know, looking at it from like a balance perspective, it does need to be nerfed. I don't know by how much personally, but just because I don't want to see this tower nerfed. But yeah, it does need to be nerfed. That's my honest opinion. And then next up is Mechabase overview. I know currently Mechabase has non-finalized stats, but I like to make my own Mechabase. And my version is a complete powerhouse, but with that comes a placement limit of 1, has already apparent setback of it being destructible. Also should cost a metric ton worth of hardcore credits, super hard to get. Basically this tower is for the sweatiest of the sweats. Okay, let's see. Why would someone do this? Cost 200,000. Damage is 65, fire rate is 0.1, so that's a DPS of 650. Rocket damage, 250 times 4 divided by, okay, so rocket DPS is 250, health is 12,000. Yeah, that's gonna be like more than Jack. That comes from Tower Battle's Halloween event tower, graveyard. And one thing he doesn't mention is the spawn time, but I think spawn time is like 30 seconds or something. But 200,000 for a 650 DPS. I don't know. Mechabase, in my opinion, is really hard to balance because spawn towers are usually really hard to balance because they die. Like they literally die when they crash into zombies. So 200,000 for a 650 DPS. A total of 230,000. Yeah, that's a crap ton of money. 230,000. If we take a look, 230,000 is equivalent to 5 outlaws, right? 5 outlaws, right? And outlaws do 85 DPS. So 5 times 86, 430 DPS, right? 430 consistent DPS compared to Mechabase, which has a placement limit of 1, which is even less than Outlaw, costs this much, only has 650 DPS, which isn't consistent because it has a spawn rate of 30 seconds, half a minute. Well, 650 plus 250, so that's gonna be 900. Even then, 900 every 30 seconds, right? And as far as I know, Mechabase doesn't stop like the Crook Boss, right? So if Mechabase could stop with really good range and it has a range of 50, I feel like that would be viable. That would be good. For example, this is that's the range of the Mechabase in the middle, and then this is a road, right? If the Mechabase could stop and then shoot the incoming zombies, then I think this would be viable. But Mechabase is constantly moving, so once it crashes into zombie, even though it has 12,000, it could be completely wasted if it goes to the exit without killing any zombies. I feel like 950 for 230,000 credit tower, I mean total cost to max it, along with the 30-second spawn time plus 1 placement limit compared to Outlaw's 10. It should be stronger. It should be even stronger, or just nerf the cost. That's what I think. Especially because he says this tower is for the sweatiest of the sweats, which should cost a metric ton worth of hardcore credits. Super hard to get. So 900 DPS, that spawns once every 30 seconds. That costs 5 times as much as an Outlaw, which is consistent, but this tower isn't because this tower literally crashes into a zombie and dies. Even though it has 12,000, it should be way better than this. Like, it should honestly be way better than this, considering Outlaw only costs 8,500 credits. But this tower apparently should cost a metric ton worth of hardcore credits, which I think should be around like 5,000, if not more. So yeah, it should be better than this. This is not good. This is not even good compared to how much, like how hard it is to get the tower, compared to how there's a placement limit of 1 and etc. And then the last tower we're going to be looking at for today, I'm probably going to make a part 2 of this, is the Outlaw. The issue, currently Outlaw has a top spot on the TDS meta, has had that spot for a good while. I feel even with all the buffs I've given other towers, they still do not reach what Outlaw has. Well, mainly because Outlaw is the most expensive tower as far as I know. Outlaw, as you can see, I don't know what they mean by Ranger, but unlock cost is 8,500. And if we take a look at all the towers, we see 150, 350, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Minigunner is 5,000. Nothing comes close to costing 8,500. But let's see what he has to say. So he wants to make the damage to 320 and the rate of fire 4, which is 80. Cost is the exact same. So just from looking at the last level, I'm pretty sure he nerfed from level 0 to level 5. Actually, let's see. So the DPS for level 0 is the same. Level 1 is the same. Level 2 is a bit higher. Huh, interesting. And then level 3 is gonna be a little higher. Level 4 is the same. Level 5 is nerfed. Okay, I mean, and the cost is the exact same. So he just barely nerfed Outlaw, except for level 2 and level 3. Level 3 does not need a buff. That's the biggest mistake. Level 3 is the most cost efficient, so you just made Outlaw even more cost efficient. Late game, Outlaw DPS doesn't even matter because it's only DPS of 5. What you should have done instead was to nerf the level 3 DPS, so its cost efficient level is not as cost efficient. Level 5 DPS doesn't even matter that much. I mean, sure, it could still be 80, but level 3, because it's the most cost efficient, no one is gonna max Outlaw from level 0 unless we're like at wave 40. Everyone's just gonna go for the cost efficient level, which is level 3. So you definitely should not have buffed this. You should have nerfed it instead. But anyway, that was it for part 1. Once again, I want to thank Coiny for this strat. I agreed with most of it, but I did give my opinions for the towers and for the things that I disagreed with. So let me know what you guys think about certain towers, and let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.
One enemy remaining. Defenders win.